Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a video about the top hardware trends of 2018 because the year, as you know, is coming to a close, and just wanted to do a recap of all the trends, all of the sort of new technology features of PC hardware that have become a really huge thing and almost a necessity in the year 2018. But before we get on to that, I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm doing a giveaway up until the 1st of January, so New Year's Day. Go hit that link in the description, join the giveaway. You can win a case or a mod mat, you can decide. So yeah, the three things I'm going to be going over are distro plates, RGB RAM, active cooled heat sinks, vertical mounted GPUs, and pre-installed I/O shields, coming in at probably the most trendy kind of thing, in my opinion. So starting off with number 5 would be distro plates. So distro plates, you probably, a lot of you know of them, especially because it's more of like a PC modding kind of thing. Basically, if you don't know what it is, it's like pieces of acrylic. So it's like a panel that has sort of like channels in it, like kind of like tubes, but on a flat plane for water cooling. Distro plates have been around for many years, used by the most elite of modders and the most elite of builds. But recently, they've been becoming more common in water-cooled builds, thanks to people like Save on PCs and such like that. And then after that, especially for cases like the Lian Li PC's 011 Dynamic, work perfectly with distro plates. Companies like Barrow and more Chinese companies have started jumping on the trend and mass producing them for cases. So they've become a really big thing for water cooling. A lot of people have them nowadays versus maybe like 2 out of 5 water cooled high-end water cooled builds have them versus maybe like 1 out of 10 in previous years. So yeah, I think this is going to continue to grow a lot. We'll see cases with built-in distro plates maybe sometimes in the future, and I think it's really cool because the aesthetic, wonderful. So next thing, number 4, would be RGB RAM. RGB RAM, of course, didn't start in 2018, it started in 2017 about. But by the end of 2017, there was pretty much like 3 choices, like 2 at most choices. But over the course of 2018, pretty much every single manufacturer of RAM has RGB RAM. And almost every single build with Bling got RGB RAM. The budget builds don't have RGB RAM, of course, because it's more expensive and doesn't make a lot of sense. But almost every single vendor has RGB RAM. Oris, which they didn't ever make RAM before, their first RAM kit, RGB RAM. We got Corsair, has new RAM, which looks 100 times better than their original RAM. G-Skill, more RAM. We got the Trend C Royale, this like crazy blingy stuff, you know. Water-cooled RGB RAM. So much RGB RAM this year, it's kind of insane. We got RGB RAM with IR synchronization. Like, honestly, it's really overwhelming. There's so much RAM that is RGB now, and like, it's kind of a necessity in a high-end build now. So yeah, that's my pick for number 4. Now on to number 3. So the next one that I would say is actively cooled sort of heat sinks or finned heat sinks. More finned heat sinks than actively cooled heat sinks. They started out last year, mid 2017, late 2017, after X299 VRM's temperatures were like so hot, and it was like, oh boy, we need to like change our designs to make them actually cool accurately. But now because of that, you see Oris putting basically finned heat sinks on all their high-end boards. All of the high-end boards now have like active cooling finned heat sinks. There's still a lot of those like chunky, like just metal slabs on as heat sinks, but a lot more high-end boards, you definitely have an option for actively cooled. It's not like, because like I bet like about a year ago or 2 years ago, they would all just be chunks of metal and it would be fine because VRM temperatures were cooler. But now, you know, we see things like that 28 core board had like a 4-foot long heatsink with 8 fans on it. It's kind of insane, but I also kind of like it as sort of like this industrial like design. It's really cool, of course. Yeah, anyways, that's more of a 2017 2018 thing, but it's definitely, I'd say, a 2018 trend because it's still continuing to gain popularity on a lot of boards, and I think that the next series of HEDT boards from Intel and AMD will definitely have a lot of finned heat sinks on them. At number 2, coming in just after number 1, and in my opinion, is vertical mounted GPUs. Vertical mounted GPUs. You know, you think about it, oh, that's normal, that's typical of pretty much every case. Basically, it started at like 2017. There were some cases that had vertical mounts, so you could mod your case to have vertical mounts. But nowadays, we got cooler master mounts, we got cable mod mounts, so you don't have to drill a hole in your case, and almost every case has an option to vertical mount nowadays. Cables are becoming less expensive. You could probably find one for like 25 bucks off of Amazon for like a vertical cable. And it's honestly just such a popular thing nowadays, because obviously you want to show off the fans, because the more intricate designs, you know, it's easier to make an intricate design on a graphics card on the fan side because there's more space. And so, you know, most often the coolest part of the graphics card is the fan side, and people want to show that off. And so that's why it's just become an absolutely huge thing in 2018. So yeah, last and definitely not least, because it's first, which makes it not last, but it is also last. Yes, I can words today. But yeah, so the best trend, in my opinion, not best trend, well, I like it a lot. It's definitely a very good trend. A very good trend, but there's no real problems with it. But it is probably the most trendy thing in PC hardware right now. It is built-in I/O shields. This is sort of like probably not a thing that a lot of people think about all the time, because you don't really ever see it because it's just behind your board. But basically, before now, it was not very common at all. You know, you had it on one X299 board from Asus. That was pretty much it. And then now we've seen like the H370 series, which is the mid-range, definitely still. I mean, it's still mainstream kind of stuff, but it's not like even the high end for the mainstream. Like, they're getting like tons of built-in I/O shields on that platform. Like, everyone is doing it nowadays, and it's absolutely wonderful to see, because you don't have to remember to put in your I/O shield. You always have everyone like, oh, I forgot to put in my I/O shield. Oh, my I/O shield's kind of tricky to put in. Oh, I cut myself on the cheap I/O shield that came with my $5 motherboard. Oh wait, that'll still happen because $5 motherboards don't have built-in I/O shields. Yeah, but anyways, I/O shields kind of annoying. It's really nice to just have them built in, I think, especially because, you know, if you're running around a test bench, you can see exactly which audio port is which I still don't exactly remember what audio port is what. Like, I mean, I know what a USB is and such, but like audio ports, I feel like they could be a little bit better. Like it's still confusing, like 6 different ones. Like, what does what one do? I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's really nice. It looks really good, and I would say definitely the best trend of 2018. So, what do you guys think? Do you agree with my picks? Is there anything else you would have added to the list? What about 2019? What do you think are going to be the coolest upcoming trends in 2019? Leave a comment below. And thank you for watching. If you got all those points, it means a lot to me, and I will see you next time.